A purge of Mughal history has been a big talking point in the country for quite some time now. And in the latest step that's been taken, the NCERT, which essentially decides the curriculum, the syllabus of textbooks for school students, has removed a chapter on the Mughals in class 12 textbooks, and it's triggered a big showdown. This has now been implemented in Uttar Pradesh as well. The NCERT has wiped off chapters and topics related to a chapter called Kings and Chronicles, the Mughal Courts. This is removed from the history book of Themes of Indian History Part 2 under its new rationalized syllabus. It's also revised the curriculum for classes 10 and 11 by omitting certain textbooks. But the fact that you've got an entire chapter on the Mughals, referred to as Kings and Chronicles, the Mughal Courts, being removed has once again triggered a big debate.
नहीं, जो अच्छी चीजें देश की पढ़ाई जानी चाहिए थी पहले से वो नहीं पढ़ाई जा रही, उससे छिपाया गया, सच को छिपाया गया, झूठ को पढ़ाया गया। आज सच को पढ़ाने की तैयारी है, उसका बिल्कुल।
सरकार को ऐसे फैसले लेने चाहिए जिससे मुल्क के अंदर रहने वालों को फायदा हो, प्रदेश को फायदा हो, रोजगार की तरफ ध्यान दिया जाए और जो है हमारे नौजवान जो है बेरोजगार फिर रहे हैं उस तरफ तवज्जो देने की जरूरत है। ऐसी चीजों से ना तो मुल्क को फायदा है, ना मुल्क के अंदर रहने वालों को फायदा है।
मुगल शासन हिंदुस्तान में बहुत लंबा रहा है, इसको सिर्फ उत्तर प्रदेश से हटाने से कोई थोड़े जाएगा। इतिहास हिंदुस्तान के अंदर महदूद नहीं, ये इतिहास दुनिया में जो मुगलों ने शासन किया वो छुपा हुआ नहीं है।
So what exactly has been removed from the 12th syllabus based on this new decision by the NCERT? Let's break it down for you. Essentially, class 12 textbooks will not have, in fact, a certain part of the Mughal architecture, the Mughal emperors, etc. But here's a list of several such decisions that have been taken. Mughal Gardens, most recently, was renamed as Amrit Udyan. And this triggered, of course, all of that talk about the iconic Mughal Gardens being renamed to get rid of their legacy. Allahabad was renamed to Prayagraj, again in Uttar Pradesh, where we're seeing right now this talk about school textbooks. Aurangabad in Maharashtra renamed to Sambhajinagar, and only recently done by the Eknath Shinde government. The Aurangzeb Road in the national capital in Delhi was renamed to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Road as well. So you're seeing, of course, a list of such decisions taken. The latest is this one, where a chapter focusing completely on the Mughal Empire has been removed by the NCERT in their textbooks. So this is just a list that we've shown you right now of all the decisions that have been taken in which, in fact, Mughal history and any attempt to show off their legacy has been removed. I want to bring in right now Gaurav Sawant, who's joining us on this broadcast. Gaurav, what do you make of this particular decision? Now, whether we like it or not, and there's a lot of debate about what Mughals have done for India, they are irrefutably a part of Indian history.
They are a part of the Indian history. They are not the Indian history. There's more to Indian history than just the Mughals, but be that as it may, as far as the NCERT and the CBSE are concerned, they're saying this is a part of a rationalization process. Sure. Some aspects of history in history books, they're being repeated in several chapters, or in, you may study the same thing in class 7th and then again in class 11th, in 8th and then again the 12th, and not study about some other heroes of this country. So there is a lot more to such a huge country that is India. For example, the introduction of a chapter or a bigger chapter on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, one on Maharana Pratap. So all of this, the NCERT, the CBSE and educationists say is rationalizing history. Some argue it's the purge or the downscaling of the Mughals. Another aspect that was raised is the Mughals ruled India between 1526 when Babur invaded India. Remember, Babur was an invader who came from Samarkand, and Babur invaded India, and by 1707 Aurangzeb was dead, and then came the later Mughals. So is there an over-glorification of just the Mughals, as some argue that the Marxist historians presented one version of history? But history books have been, Akshata, looked at and revised repeatedly.
But to remove an entire chapter, you made some points, very valid ones, about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, for example, and having more prominence on that. Maybe that's the revision that should be done, and not removing the Mughals completely or a chapter on them.
So when I spoke to officials, they said it's not that students in school will not read about Mughals at all. But they don't have to read just about the Mughals, and they will be reading about, the Cholas in a bigger way, for example. They'll read more about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, about Lasat Borphukan in Assam. So, there's a bigger view of history being taken. And revision, like I said, again, one of the officials was saying, history books have been revised even in the past. NCERT, when it came into being. So from 60s to what happened in the 70s in emergency, post-emergency, when the Janta government came, then again in 2002, then in 2005, then in 2012, then 2014, 2017, 18, and now this is happening in 22. So new education policy, new changes keep happening. And of course the debate in a democracy continues, the Marxist view of history and a nationalist view of history.